Even if you've never watched an actual movie or episode of TV created by Tyler Perry, you've somehow seen a Tyler Perry episode. The Boondocks did a parody. Donald Glover's Atlanta did a parody of its entire studio and creative process. TikToks, Instagram Reels, the writing style, we all know what to expect. The cheap wigs, cheap looking sets, poor acting, heavy church comedy vibes, and usually has one kind of famous black face that you sort of know. And the whole thing is just like a bag of mini tacos from 7-Eleven. I mean, yeah, it's food by definition, but come on. That's not what this video is about. For one, my OGFD signifier is working on his every Tyler Perry show and movie produced ever that's definitely coming out right after Dr. Dre's Detox and Jay Electronica's second album, wink wink. Now, what I want to talk about is something worse. In case you can't tell by the channel, I love black media. I watch pretty much anything as long as it's not Tyler Perry or reality TV on Zeus Network. And when it comes to black TV shows, it's like 3 tiers. You got Elite, with shows like Atlanta and Southside that grow in popularity in each season and inspire others, or gain a cult following once they're off the air like Southside. You have the Just Okay, like Abbott Elementary and Black AF from Kenya Barris on Netflix. When you actually sit down and watch it, it's a good time, but they nothing special. Then you have the obscure and straight garbage. I avoid the garbage such as, almost anything Tyler Perry makes, but boy do I love an obscure black TV show. How many of you all knew Forrest Whitaker stars on a show about Bumpy Johnson with one of the best portrayals of Malcolm X called The Godfather of Harlem? Oh, and the first 3 seasons had John Carlos Esposito. Me and like 4 other people on Twitter are the only ones that I know that ever talk about this TV show. How many of you all know about the short-lived Hulu show called Woke? It was legit some well-written comedy that touched on black organization and police reform. How about Tracy Morgan? He has a pretty decent show that was called The Last OG about an ex-drug dealer that somehow made Tiffany Haddish watchable. And of course, in the garbage section, we have those Tyler Perry shows that all look like daytime soap operas somehow. It turns out there was a 4th category. I somehow discovered, sleep deprived while planning a separate video. I call it the Tyler Perry knockoff, or Disney sitcoms for black adults. Discovering these shows that all premiered 2010 or later felt like discovering a pocket universe where sitcoms were still written like it's 2002. Hell, like it was 1992. As it was 4 a.m., I was home alone, and what I was watching didn't seem real. I did what any logical adult would do. I went to confirm that my carbon monoxide detector was working. Success. After confirming that it wasn't carbon monoxide poisoning and induced madness, it was in fact working, I began doing more research. Turns out almost all of these premiered on some off-brand networks like Bounce Network. If you don't know what Bounce Network is, it's a black people TV station. Imagine BET is Coca-Cola, Zeus Network is Pepsi, Bounce would be RC Cola. Yes, RC Cola, that brand that you forgot exists. Never seen the commercial for, but holy shit, you can buy it at Kroger? Is it a money laundering front? Maybe. A majority of you watching this don't consume much black media anyway. Well, outside of mainstream shows like Atlanta, Insecure, and maybe Power. So I don't think you all understand how random and obscure these shows are and what it felt like discovering a new universe. Typically with black media, even if you don't watch the show and you a nigga, you've heard of it just because of how social media and YouTube works. I don't watch McGraw ad on Tubi, but I've heard of it. I don't watch Pop the Balloon, but I've seen memes. The shows we talking about today seem to exist in their own section of the black community. I'm seriously afraid some of you still do not truly understand how obscure these TV shows in this video are. The good brother Prim's Hood Cinema has a video about the 2006 basketball hood movie called Crossover. I've heard of that movie before he made that video. These shits legit feel like something that they watch in the background of Insecure as a parody of black TV shows. And every show we're going to talk about today ran for way longer than should be possible. Again, maybe it's money laundering. Speaking of Prims, all of these shows have black all-stars, so that's something, I guess? Oh yeah, I'm John Lewis, Hero Beats on the track, Detroit Together Strong. overthrow media editing? Let's get into it. First up is In the Cut. You know, some old ass boomer came up with this title. This shit looked like it was shot in someone's garage. I don't know how it's possible, but all of these shows look like they were shot in a garage or a community centered play or something. They can only afford one extra in the chair and they chose an Arab nigga. I've been to a lot of black barbershops and I've never seen an Arab in a black barbershop in my entire life. And Detroit borders Dearborn. For you all that know that area, you know what I mean. Anyway, it stars the professor from the Parkers that was always getting sexually harassed. Now mind you, this show premiered in 2015, 1 year before Atlanta and Insecure. Why does it feel like it aired on the UPN in 2003? Is that over-the-top comedic acting with laugh tracks and unfunny jokes?
Preach, brother, preach. Is this really necessary?
You see, Chester here, he was a good man.
This is the pilot episode, and short light-skinned barber is retiring to be with his wife, I guess? I don't know. The jokes didn't make any sense. Bro, look at these windows. These niggas didn't even attempt to make it look real. They have painted windows or a sticker. How was the show made in 2015? Like, look at this fake ass hair salon with the mom from Sister Sister. It's 4 people in a 200 square foot room. Am I crazy? Is this a white woman with an Asian accent? Like, what accent is she doing? Of course, we have the gay nigga stereotype, exposition dump. So Sister Sister's mom is the barber's ex-wife. These old heads, they really trying to get bro to cut his dreads. Like, they just going on about him. But where bro get that weak ass Inspector Gadget hat and hard bottom shoes? Why does barbershop have a business casual dress code? I'm sorry, you're not cutting my hair dressed like you going to court for a DUI. Anyway, it turns out Dreadhead is the Parker's professor, long lost son from 32 years ago. Like, what is this acting? This legit feels like it should be on Nickelodeon. Is this what all sitcoms was like 10 years ago? I thought we stopped using laugh tracks back when Obama was in office. Alright, so then they go to lunch to talk about it. And this little ass fake restaurant, the Bounce Network. I know y'all could afford more than these little ass card tables with tablecloths. Apparently the Parker teacher is Mr. Bitches and everyone keeps trying to get him the draws. The old lady tries to bribe him with a pork chop. No, that's not a joke. That's something that actually happens in this episode. So anyway, everyone in the show is like horny and freaky as hell. The old grandma tried to pawn her fine ass niece on a dreadhead, but he's married, even though his wife kicked him out the house. The Parker teacher invites him to live with him for a few days so we figure it all out since he just found out he has a grown ass son. This show feels like a live action cartoon, but in a bad way. The Parker teacher introduces his son to his ex-wife, and that's sister mom. She mad because he was conceived during their marriage. She chased him around with a comb. They go to a baseball game together and bro got this weak ass baseball hat with no logo. Like, where do you even find a raw, boneless baseball hat at like that? Like, why are they acting like bro is 12 years old? Anyway, he gets served divorce papers, even though he claims he didn't do anything. They back in the barbershop. Some random guy comes in saying he needs a haircut for a date and talks Dreadhead, who's not a barber, into doing it. Has no one on this show been in a black barbershop before? It wouldn't go down like that. That would not happen. Anyway, his dad, the Parker's teacher, gets mad when he finds out Dreadhead cut someone's hair because he doesn't have a license. Yeah, in America, you need a license to cut hair. Now, the first joke that actually made me kind of laugh was his mans, who has been cutting hair all the time, said he never had a license. Yada yada, makeup, and give his son a job as a barber apprentice. Now, here's the thing. Of all of these shows, this is the most successful one. This is a pilot episode, so maybe it got better, but I doubt it. This show got 7 seasons and ran from 2015 to 2021. It was the Bounce #1 TV show. Like most people under the age of 50, I haven't had cable TV for years. But even if I did, I wouldn't be watching this show. It's not awful, it just seems like the type of show church folks watch on a Sunday afternoon. Like, it feels like if Josh Johnson wrote a TV show. Just look at these sets. How does this show look so cheap? Now mind you, this is a show that the majority of it, I assume, takes place in a barbershop, or it's about the barbershop based off the name. Look at this show compared to Atlanta barbershop episode. Y'all see what I'm saying? This show doesn't even seem like it was made in the same decade. Does anyone actually watch the Bounce Network? I never see any ads. Alright y'all, I gotta move on. I'm confused. I actually watched a bit of a non-pilot episode and it doesn't get any better. They swap out a few characters, but it's still corny. Alright, so we moving on. Next show is Mr. Box Office. Another show I've never heard of. I found the pilot episode again. Reading the Wikipedia, I'm even more confused. I guess they just made 40 episodes and sold it to any network that needed a show. It's very unclear, but I think it originally aired on the CW back in 2012 for 2 seasons. Just to give you all an idea of some of the comedies that were on TV in 2012. We had the American version of Wilfred on FX, Parks and Rec on NBC, the American version of The Office on NBC, and Community on NBC. This was around the time the CW clearly stopped caring. Like, I know they have a reputation for shows for bad acting like The Adventures of Archie, but this show feels like something high school students made. With the most random cast of, oh, I've heard of them before. It stars Bill Bellamy. He was around during that era of black comedians being in movies 25 years ago. Chris Tucker, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, but his career just never worked out into mainstream success. He was also a stand-up comedian. John Lovitz, who I only know from that one The Simpsons episode, Vivica A. Fox, Gary Busey, Rick Fox. What the fuck is this cast? In this show, Bill Bellamy is the world's most famous actor and beat up a paparazzi, and now he's going to trial for something. John Lovitz is his agent. Already the jokes don't make sense, so I guess John Lovitz is a bad agent because Bill Bellamy is his only client, which doesn't make sense. I don't care how annoying or bad of an agent you are. If Tom Cruise is your client, other people will sign up for you. Oh yeah, and we find all of this out in like the first 90 seconds with this fake ass news report talking about the fight and stuff. So, it's 2 bald head niggas that look like his sidekicks or something. They might as well be twins. I don't know. So, Bald 1 and Bald 2, I'll call them. Alright, so Bill Bellamy, he goes to court, is found guilty, and the judge says instead of jail, he has to teach an English class at South Central High School. First off, how bad did he fuck up the paparazzi nigga that he almost went to jail over it? I'm sorry. Like, look at this fake ass jury. These niggas have stickers on the windows. This jury scene had me laughing harder than any actual joke in this entire episode. Then we had this bootleg ass introduction. I know I haven't watched a Bill Bellamy movie in years, but was he always this bad at acting? Like, they all just kind of yell every line that's supposed to be a joke. Like, this is really blowing my mind because TV didn't look like this in 2012. It's like this show was recorded back in 2002. I watched old episodes of My Wife and Kids, and that's actually around the same time. My Wife and Kids is a much better show than this. It's around this time I started to question my decisions in life and what the hell I was watching. So Dog's entire crew and his agent go to the high school with him for some reason, I don't know. These racist ass unfunny jokes about a hood high school, they have a chalk outline of someone who apparently got murked. Like, the show isn't funny, it's just amazing how corny this show is. Like, they keep making these corny jokes about hot sauce on creme brulee. They make it more than once. And his homie name is, I bullshit you not, Tony the Tiger. So yeah, the principal tells him, you gotta teach a bunch of kids whose criminals have weapons and maybe one of them caught that body. That's where the chalk outline is from. I don't know. Also, is that Moesha little brother with the orange fatigue vest? This is legit one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life. This should be on Disney Channel or Nick, like coming on after iCarly. Adults don't behave like this. Adults wrote this show. What am I watching? It's this fine ass dark skinned woman named Vanessa. That don't actually have anything to do with this, but I just love fine ass dark skinned women. Also, Rick Fox big ass is on this, of course, as the gym teacher, because what other role would he play? They go back to Bill Bellamy house, and the critic is like, hey, I found you a lawyer and he got a sentence suspended, so you don't have to teach these ugly ass kids. For some reason, Bill Bellamy decides to have a going away party at his house for all of these kids and teachers that he knew for one day. He knew these kids for one day and he throws a going away party. Then he changed his mind. He's like, hey, I'll just be a teacher full time and an actor in the summer to make a difference. Now, these are supposed to be badass gangbanging teens, according to the principal. And someone was straight up murdered in the hallway. But like, look at this group of nerds. Like, bro, if you don't get your dumb ass and just use the money to open a community center in the hood and go back to teaching, Now mind you, they said he's the biggest actor in Hollywood. None of this feels like a real show, let alone a real show for adults. Now, to another show that doesn't seem real and I'd never heard of. Love That Girl, starring Ashley Banks, aka Tatiana Ali from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This one aired on TV One, a channel I forgot exists. So if the bounce is RC Cola, maybe TV One is Faygo. It's a regional soda that they sell out here in the Midwest. Turns out it was more than one BET alternative. You had the bounce and TV One. I was still living with my parents at this time, but this channel may as well not have existed. And I don't know a single person online who has ever mentioned this series. Like, the game and girlfriends have cult followings, but what the hell? I don't know, maybe this is a hidden gem. So, turns out most people also don't give a damn about this show. The only intro from the first 3 seasons I could find which feature Ashley Banks is a dude recording his TV with his cell phone. It'll probably be playing right here. But the final season has the full intro. After Ashley Banks left, apparently it turns into a completely different show. I was not watching more than one episode of this. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. But low-key, a lot of black media just becomes lost after a while. Like, even if you want to sell the 7 Cs, it's hard to find a copy to torrent. Black TV shows are just hard to find. This episode starts off with Love That Girl getting drunk at a bar, and her ex-boyfriend comes in like, yo, thanks for not being awkward around my wife. They almost kiss, and this Jar Jar Binks ass, fake ass JJ Evans nigga comes out acting like he's never seen adults kiss and threatens to tell until Love That Girl says then he'll be homeless if he does. I guess he lives with his sister? I don't know. They assume we should know all of this information. Her name is Tiana on the show, and she's still fine as hell from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, even though Nia Long from The Fresh Prince was my first childhood crush, Ashley Banks was my second. So, she's a home seller on the show, whatever they call, and she works for her rich dad. Turns out the lady that she was selling the house to is married to her ex-boyfriend, and that's how they all became entangled and she met up with her ex again. Now, I promise you all, this is just a coincidence. I'm writing this as I watch these shows. Her dad, this sick ass nigga, asked her to go buy him an RC Cola from the store. I've never in my life heard someone request an RC Cola. Was this show so low budget that Pepsi and the Coke lawyer said, don't even think about mentioning our soda in y'all TV show? Is that how advertisements and brands work? I really don't know. The jokes are bad, but it doesn't feel as over the top as the other shows. They actually show restraint with the laugh track. Going in blind, I guess it's closer to shows like The Game and Girlfriends because her ex who's buying a house that she almost kissed comes in to sign the papers and she immediately starts trauma dumping on him. Like, yeah, when you went overseas to play basketball, you never called me. Why she never called him? It only makes sense for plot reasons, I guess. The phone only works one ways. I don't know. She also says, I was pregnant, I had a miscarriage, I got married, divorced. Oh yeah, no one knows any of this. Oh, don't tell your wife we used to date. Let's sign these papers for the closing. And none of that is played as a joke. It's just like throws off the entire tone of the episode. It then turns into a completely different show. Her goofy ass brother comes in with a basketball doing his best JJ from Good Times impressions, and the episode ends. It turns out I'm not crazy. Whoever uploaded this random 2 hour and 43 minute block marathon episodes starts off halfway through an episode. Why? I don't know. Welcome to the world of lost black media. 11 minutes in, I feel the tone of the show. I guess it could work for 2010. It has that cheesy sitcom humor that kind of worked. Maybe if it aired after the game on UPN and more people would have heard of it. But so far, it's definitely the most watchable show. Next up, we have Read Between the Lines. Again, never heard of this show. It stars Black All-Star, Malcolm Jamal Warner, rest in peace, and Tony Rock, Chris Rock's little brother. This aired in 2011, so I guess I just wasn't watching BET back then. I don't know, but let's see what it was like. Nigga, what? It starts off, Tony Rock is in his brother's crib eating a whole ass cartoon-sized dinner of, I think, pot roast and raw carrots. I don't know, I guess he just left work because he's hungry. I guess some jobs you can just do that. I don't know, the nigga said something about he almost passed out and had rats carry him home. Does he do pest control? Why is he dressed like a black version of the white Shrew with a short sleeve shirt and the tie? None of that is ever addressed. That's why you bumming food off your brother. I can't take anyone seriously wearing a short sleeve button up shirt with a tie. Dio Huxtable walks in, and also his pops walks in the house. Now, I don't know who house this is, but anyway, it's Pop's birthday. He like, man, I don't want to do anything. I'm gonna chill for my birthday. I can understand that. Then it gets into the intro. The worst rapping I've ever heard.
Between a rock and a hard place could be a hard place to be if I didn't have my village holding me. My father, son, 2 daughters, and 2 best friends surrounding me with the strength of 10,000 men. Yeah, I got this.
In case we have to edit this out, imagine someone doing a T Grizzly offbeat flow, but it's in the style of Christian rap and an exposition dump. Bro taps into his Count from Sesame Street. My dad, my 1 son, 2 daughters, 2 best friends, turned 7 to a 14, 14 to a whole thing, surrounded by 10,000 people that love me. Like, what the fuck? What am I watching? What am I watching? Also, he's playing the guitar in the intro. I don't understand them. The more I watch this, the more I regret making this video. Like, I'm 100% sober when I was watching and writing this. This episode feels like the writers were drunk. It's a bar scene that lasts like 70 seconds and adds nothing besides repeating the unfunny pad thai strip club food joke. His son wants to go to a party in the Bronx. His daughter is as big of a nerd as he is, so they hire a tutor because she scored 90% on her 3rd grade math test, and that's not good enough. But most strange is the laugh track in the show. I got a little something going on in my head, and I watched a few shows back to back, so this laugh track just sticks out as weird. It's like echo. I don't know what's going on, but it annoys me and my homeboys. Fam, this show has no pace to it. Things are just happening. Half the laugh track isn't even responding to jokes. So they're planning their dad's birthday party who doesn't really want one. So Tony Rock is like, I mean, his old ass don't like anybody cooking but his own anyway. So what if we just tell him we need them to cater a party and then we bring the food and surprise him for his own party? For some reason, the light-skinned woman who named, I don't know, is like, hell no, and goes over to fire the dad from catering the party. But he starts cooking for her and pulls out a whole ass plate for her that's already made out of the hot ass oven. He just has an entire plate made sitting in the oven in case a sitcom guest wanders in. I don't know. And also, I have yet to laugh at a single joke in this show. Dio's son then wants to get picked up early from the party, and Dio is like, hell no. As a punishment, you have to stay at the party? I really don't know who the audience for this show is. The tone is all over the place. Dio gets mad at his pops because he picks up his son early from the party instead of waiting for Theo to go pick him up. Also, since when is a parent mad that a kid got picked up early from a party? Dio was like, Pops, I don't need you to raise my kids, and everyone is all mean as hell to Pops. So he leaves with his 1935 era suitcase and catches a cab to God knows where. Really, y'all, what even is this show? Like, I don't feel sad, I'm not entertained, I'm bored and unlaughed. The plot, it doesn't fit the tone of the episode. Like, just let Pops help you with the grandkids, man, damn. Anyway, life being life, and actually, I'm glad I found these bogus ass shows to make fun of. Now, mind you, this is from BET official YouTube page, so it's not like this is some weird upload. Like, look at this. Who are these people? Why are they in this frame? Why are they extras in this frame for 1 second? Look at this edit.
No, all I said was I don't...
All those in favor of proceeding with the party, raise your hand.
Huh?
They end up throwing Pops a birthday party. Him and Theo make up, and he tells him, oh yeah, my wife, we not getting back together. The wife is Tracy Ellis Ross. That's not in this episode. This is apparently season 2. They're getting a divorce, and she just never shows up in the show again. Then it ends with the fake ass Moesha ending with this guy laying on his stomach, picking his feet up in the air, writing into his laptop. Like, y'all seen Friendhood Cinema. Y'all know about the Moesha. They used to end with her writing into her diary and whatever. So far, I know I said this a couple times, but I finished this script. This is easily the worst show I watched. Like, at least the others were corny bad. I can't imagine anyone enjoying this show. And it turns out, I'm not a hater. This show was so bad, Tracy Ellis Ross said, I'm not coming back for season 2. That's why she isn't in this episode or any of season 2 episodes. Then they added his dad, the light-skinned lady, and Tony Rock for season 2. So apparently none of them existed before this. Like, BET looked at it, despite already shooting the entire season 2, said hell no, and didn't even air it. So Centric picked it up. I'm running out of soda metaphors, but Centric was yet another black network I never watched. I'm surprised that all of those existed, honestly. Hopefully, this section didn't kill the pace of this video, because that's how bad that show was. This show was so boring, it's like hard to write jokes about it. I guess maybe that's why nobody on YouTube has made a video about this shit. You know, at this point, I would rather see some 50 Cent produced, black stereotype, low budget star shows at this point. 2 more shows to go and we almost at the finish line. This has been a rather awful experience. All of these shows feel like they're either 5 years late to the trend that was popular or created, or they were just made to be some type of money washing scheme. Like, please subscribe, hell, donate to buy me a coffee. I need beer after this. Well, up next is a show called The First Family from 2012. According to YouTube, that's when it came out. From the poster, it appears to be a parody of Barack Obama family. Done well, a sitcom that does satire about the first black president of the United States and his family could work well. Done bad, it seems like something that should be a 10-minute Saturday Night Live sketch at best. All of these are blind reviews I'm writing as I watch them, but my money's on the latter. I don't know how many times I've said this at this point, but this really feels like some Nickelodeon bullshit. Like, bro, who is this show made for? Braxton from the Jamie Foxx show is in it. He's the president. He's having a tea party. Grown-ass men in military costumes are putting on crowns and sitting in little seats. Like, I feel saying wrong, this BS for the church crowd, and I'm 1 minute into this episode. But hey, maybe it gets better. Alright, from the intro photo, I see Pops from the Wayans family, the mama from Sister Sister again. I think that's Aunt Wanda from the Bernie Mac show. I'm really regretting this, and I'm dead serious. At least with a bad movie, it's something to laugh at, or a show like the Vince Staples show. I understood the concept they were aiming for, even though they failed to me. This show is just a variation of the other garbage Byron Allen was making. I'm really starting to think all of this stuff was a money laundering scheme. What if I'm the guy that blows the whistle on Byron Allen? I don't know, man. I think he got enough money to get me touched. That was a joke. None of these shows are money laundering schemes. Is it the cameras? The color correction? How do all of these shows look so cheap? Like, they shot in the back of an IKEA with motel furniture. I mean, Aunt Wanda's still fine as hell, in my opinion. Finest TV mom of all time. But besides that, it feels like I'm watching a Disney Channel original. 4 kids and so far, 0 personality. I just wish the show could have 4 personality and 0 kids. 5 minutes into a 20-minute episode and it has no point or no plot. So far, just his kids annoying. Sister moms come in like she's in some cartoon talking about some nonsense. They have a fake ass Jeffrey type butler that makes sly remarks. Half the time the camera does this weird thing where they zoom into the actors for no reason. I haven't watched a Tyler Perry show or movie in a long time, but it's no way they this bad. I don't think it's actually possible for a show to be worse than this. This show is an embarrassment to comedy. Pops and Sister Mom do this weak ass joke roast back and forth, and of course this has a laugh track. Now mind you, the episode still has no plot really. The thing about Seinfeld is it was a show about nothing, but each episode had a plot and story beats. With a few minutes left, the writers are like, damn, we do need a plot. Hey, we mentioned the dictator trying to invade a country in his anniversary, and within 5 minutes, some goofy ass plot of a dictator with the funny accent is wrapped up with like 20 people at the dinner table and a surprise anniversary party. Aunt Wanda's still thick and fine as hell. That's the only good thing I can say. Alright, let's do a wiki on this show because it's really nothing else to say. This show had 2 seasons, 36 episodes. It was on the CW and the Centric at some point. Now let's move on before I down a gallon of vodka and go for a swim. Y'all seen the Black All-Stars. It's nothing else interesting to add about this TV show, truly. Next up, Man and Wife, big surprise, another show I've never heard of. Like, these shits not have a budget at all. I don't understand how I've never heard of a single one of these shows. Now, usually I go in blind outside of looking at promotional posters and finding out what year it was made. Okay, so I looked it up. Good. 2015, and it aired on the bounce. So this show probably has more modern writing and tropes and everything else. Now, to be fair, I skipped the pilot episode because a lot of times the pilots can be rough. This one feels like the most Tyler Perry-ish you'll see from the clips and B-roll of anything in this video. Like, this straight up feels like a Tyler Perry show. The cast, everything about it. So, the bald guy, ex-wife, is coming to visit the kids, and I guess his mom is training with boxing gloves to beat her ass? I don't know. So, the bald guy is a cop, and we at his police station, and it's Tony Rock again. Like, does Chris Rock not like his brother? Like, you could make a call and get bro in the movie so he don't have to do these off-Broadway ass TV shows. It's another black sitcom reunion, the mom from Family Matters, or the Steve Urkel show for people under 30. Vivica A. Fox again. Like, she was the light-skinned it girl about 20 years ago, even though this show was way past that. So by now, I started noticing the trend. All of these shows have 1990s sitcom setups. So this episode especially, Tony Rock's character think he found the perfect woman. Vivica A. Fox, the ex-wife, comes to visit, and the kids are like, hey, let her stay for the weekend, even though she's a VP at her company. Like, if y'all don't get the hell on and put me up in the Hilton, I'm not staying in no side bedroom and I'm the vice president in my job. So anyway, Vivica A. Fox feels bad because she was a bad mom and wife because of her job. So Baldhead is teasing Tony Rock that his girlfriend, who claims to drive a Lamborghini and is a massage therapist for sports teams, is actually a stripper. I don't know. At this point, man, it's just pure sitcom nonsense. And yes, that's Debo from Friday as the police lieutenant. This show seems like something you would maybe dream about, then wake up and write a better TV show. Anyway, the ex-wife and the new wife have a cook-off for the family. Like, yo, I'm sorry. I know this is a sitcom and we have a suspension of disbelief, but no black wife or mother is letting the ex-wife come into her kitchen and cook. Anyways, the ex-wife makes mini quiches and everyone is like, God damn, these good. And they say, F that lasagna that the new mama made, and they just throw it away. Nobody eats it. They just abandon the Tony Rock's girlfriend is a stripper or criminal subplot, even though that's the whole point of the dinner. Well, he was like getting her fingerprints off of glasses and stuff, and the new wife is jealous, so Baldhead is like, ah, man, come on, don't be mad. We was just pretending to really like her quiche, and also, you ain't have to throw the whole lasagna away. This show is like Tyler Perry coded. So you know they have to have some dramatic stakes. Guess what the dramatic stakes are? The ex-wife, who also made dessert for the family and her actual children, put some pecan fruit bullshit dessert together, and she forgot her own son is allergic to nuts. And they stop her narrowly in time from poisoning her own child. And then we just skip to the next day. She like, well, alright guys, I'm about to bounce. Turns out women can be deadbeat moms too. Oh, and the conclusion to the Tony Rock girlfriend story is she was a professional pickpocket. Like, Tony Rock finds all of the stuff she stole. She stole the lieutenant wedding ring. It doesn't matter, guys. Y'all owe Kenya Barris an apology. His shows are like The Sopranos mixed with The Godfather compared to this that I just watched. At least his shows and movies have a 3-beat story, A and B plots. I don't understand how all of these shows are this bad. And no, it's not just because these are traditional sitcoms. Like, I watch reruns of My Wife and Kids, Martin, and Seinfeld. I know Martin is a little too much for some of you all to handle. All of those are 30-year-old sitcoms and have much better writing. Like, I'm not doing a bit. I truly do not understand how multiple TV shows can be this bad. Like, what's going on in the writing room? Is it two people in a broom closet with a broken iPhone 4? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed my pain and suffering. I'm sure there's more shows I've never heard of. Let me know if y'all want a part 2. I'm John Lewis. Make sure y'all subscribe. Get me to 100,000 subscribers. Support the Patreon, buy me a coffee, whatever. I'm out.